I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
Well, folks, we've got a great episode for you to wrap up season 4.
Season 4.
And I think it's difficult to say how much this means to us to wrap up a season 4 that you didn't think you'd get 4 episodes out of. Because I think, well, we recorded 3 right off the bat, so we thought we were going to get 3.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, and we're going to get to today's guest. Today's guest is Levi Garrett, young entrepreneur downtown, and just opened up Pop Culture Toys and Collectibles, and he's a great guy, and I'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute. But we wanted to take a break here from what we normally do, which is kind of a quick intro to do 3 things. 1, tell you thank you for listening. 2, to acknowledge that we're going to take a little break. But then 3, that break is going to be a little longer probably because we're finally going to get to do something that we've wanted to do probably since the beginning.
Right.
So let's take those in order, I guess. First of all, thank you for listening. I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't get feedback from somebody that says, man, you guys are doing such great things. We're really connected with what you're doing. Or somebody that says, I didn't even know you guys had a podcast until this season, and now I'm catching up on everything.
Right.
Or somebody that listened to an episode far away and is back for Easter or Christmas or Thanksgiving and is like, we run into them happenstance and they're like, hey, I listen to you guys every week, and it's just a joy to do this when you know that people appreciate it.
Yeah. But shared a story with my sister just this past weekend. We celebrated Easter and she's like, hey, give me a podcast episode to listen to. And then gave me some feedback about it. Yeah. Like it's joy to hear those things. It's not always perfect feedback. There are times when we hear some things that tell us that we need to improve. But I think overall, what we hear is just people are connecting and they're enjoying the stories about their own community that they didn't know. And I just feel like that's always been our job from day one. When we started this podcast was just to shine light. Yeah. I've said that a million times, but to shine light on some cool things that maybe people didn't know.
Well, and listen, if you don't have good guests, you can have all the listeners you want.
That's right. They're
going to go away. And the folks that we've had on in all 4 seasons, there's been emotion, there's been laughter, there's been intriguing stories. There's been some difficult stories. The guests have really made this thing. Their willingness to share a part of their lives, and sometimes incredibly reluctantly willing to share, has really, I think, been transformative for what we've tried to do here. And so, we're incredibly dedicated and thankful for our host, Horizon, who signed on very early, and they've continued to support us to allow us to do things like upgrade our board and our mics and do some fun things. And so, I don't want to sell them short too, because they've helped fuel this crazy idea that you had, and then I signed on to. But after all that time, hey, Finn's in the conversation now. All right. But yeah, I think it's
they've been super supportive.
Yeah,
we couldn't have done it without them.
Absolutely couldn't have. So,
and that's when Finn unknowingly unplugged the hard drive that we record to. And so, just to finish what Mike was saying is we're just very thankful that everyone gives us the support that we see, and that to this break, we are going to come back bigger and better, but the purpose of it will be to finally finish that Chillicothe project and tell the story of the resurgence of our downtown. And yeah, you're probably missing another 5 to 10 minutes of conversation with Mike and I talking about that project before we jump into Levi's episode. But we just felt like we needed to tell you what was happening. So it might be a few months before we get back, but we think that this project is worth the time off. And it's not really time off. We will be digging in to try to tell the story the right way and create some episodes that really shine light on what a beautiful thing the resurgence of our downtown is. And so, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of interviews. It's going to take a lot of time from a lot of people. And we just hope that you stick around for it. So that is the quick and dirty of what our plans are. We hope that you continue to tune in when we come back. We just don't have a date yet. We're not sure when that's going to happen. So just know that we're not sitting idle, doing nothing. That we're out there working to create something we think is pretty special. So that's just a quick fill in. Let's jump into the episode with Levi Garrett, the owner of Game On and the new pop culture store downtown. So we're excited to talk to him about all the things that they carry. We're just excited to talk to him. So let's wrap up season 4 of the Feels Like Home podcast with our new friend, Levi Garrett.
Well, we are really excited to have, I'm going to go ahead and say downtown's youngest entrepreneur currently.
That's exciting to hear.
Yeah, you're what, 25?
25, yes.
I don't know of anybody else that owns a business downtown that's 25 or younger. Can you think of anybody?
I can't think of anybody.
Well, Levi Garrett is with us. So Levi just opened Pop Culture Toys and Collectibles on 2nd Street. I didn't write down the address. What's the address?
15 East 2nd.
So 15 East 2nd. It's between, the easy way to do it is between Hibachi and the Poorhouse.
Yes, exactly.
On the same side.
Well, it's lit up at night. It looks good because I walked by with the dogs the other day, a couple weeks ago, and it was all lit up. And I was like, I saw Legos, and I was like, oh, I want to go in. But I had the Finn.
Yep.
It wouldn't have gone well.
But you probably welcome dogs, right? Probably
yes, as long as the owners keep them under control,
That's right.
It's all good.
Yeah. So Levi also owns Game On, not only Chillicothe, but Circleville as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely don't know anybody under the age of 25 that owns 3 businesses.
That's
I definitely
Levi.
don't know that. So welcome. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what, not only Pop Culture Toys and Collectibles, but Game On and what you're doing there.
We sell Game On's, of course, video games. It still has some of the like statues and figures and things like that go with it. And then we also do cards. So Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, all that to go with it. Funko Pop's at all 3 locations, but Pop Culture is the king of that. They have hopefully every single one you're looking for. If not, we'll find it.
Yeah, I will tell you that the Mandalorian went over big for my son's Easter basket.
Glad to hear.
I bought one at the ribbon cutting, and it was very well received. But I think I've unleashed a beast now, because now he wants to look at all of them. So I think we're gonna have to make a visit down there.
Soon he'll have a wall full of them.
Yeah, well, probably if I had to guess. But that's like the culture of Funko, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, a lot of what they do with the Funko Pops is, and if you're not, give people sort of a explanation of what they are and how they look.
So they're just a figure. They range from, most of them are about 3 inches tall. They do some as big as 10 inches. People will collect them from their favorite TV series, anime, movie, whatever it is you like. There's usually a Funko Pop of it, and people will start with one series they love and then find 10 more. So they end up with a wall or a shelf or a whole room full of them and collect them all.
Yeah, and I think I talked to you at the ribbon cutting about how my older daughters collect the Stranger Things one, which you said were very, very popular.
Insanely. Whatever TV show or whatever's trending the most, we'll have tons of people in looking and hunting for it.
Yeah.
The guy across the hall from me at work has the Umbrella Academy Funko Pops. So,
and that was probably big a couple years ago, but
When it first
probably
came
still pretty big, right?
It was really big a couple years ago. It's died off a little, but it's still prevalent.
Yeah.
So what are your hot sellers other than like Stranger Things right now?
Lego's doing pretty good. It does great. Stranger Things is the most popular Funko. Star Wars is doing good, especially with Mandalorian wrapping up today.
Oh wait, today?
Yeah, today's the
episode.
finale.
Oh, gosh.
Did you just get a cold shiver?
Yeah, I was like, man,
I haven't watched any of the new season yet.
I forgot about it.
My
Today
son and
is
I are
Wednesday.
going to binge it together probably this weekend if I had to guess.
I imagine that is probably really popular right now.
Really popular. It's probably one of the best seasons. I won't spoil anything, but it's really, really good.
Oh, did you already watch today's episode?
Oh, yeah. I woke up at 7 and that was the first thing I did.
We talked about this at the ribbon cutting because you were telling me that you were watching it all the way through, and I was like, don't say anything. Like,
That's great.
But and then I also heard that they just released Yellowstone Funko Pops. Have you heard about that?
I just placed the order for them. I think they're pre-ordered out a couple months, but yeah,
Okay.
I just saw that that's a thing now.
And I also heard that Indy Jones, because it's coming back, they're going to have some Indy Jones.
I need an Indiana Jones from
New
my
stuff.
office.
Yep, they're doing some older ones, and then I think they'll do some for the Dial of Destiny movie once it's out.
Yeah. Which I just saw the trailer for it last week, I think, or maybe the week before, and man, does that look good.
It does look good.
It does. It's crazy how good Disney's gotten at like making a man, Harrison Ford, who's, I don't know, 70 or 80, will look like he's 25, 30 again.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm just amazed that Harrison Ford is still making movies, right? Because you see a lot of those guys have just stopped making movies.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't need to make movies.
that's 100% true for sure. So how does somebody, how did you get to say, I know that you did an interview recently, I think with the Gazette, when she said, I always wanted to own a business. But how did that become what you're doing now? Like, how did that, how do you take Funkos and maybe a hobby for you or something and make it into a business?
So I first interned at Game On, ended up working there for a few years. We moved the store to Central Center. And then I'm like, I could do this. So through flea markets, yard sales, and collecting, I built up enough inventory to open my own store because I'm like, I could do this better than them. Ended up, COVID sent that crazy because everyone was stuck at home, nothing to do. So blew that up, took over Game On, moved it to where it sits now, and then opened the Circleville location, which it had previously closed.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was in
while
that
ago.
plaza, right? I think before,
Yeah, it was
like behind where it is now. I think.
it was by Big Lots
Oh,
in Circleville.
okay.
That
Yeah.
one was.
Yep.
So it was on Lancaster Pike. So we moved it out to 23 and reopened that. So kind of bringing Game On back a little bit more to be back from its heyday where it used to have 7 or 8 stores across Ohio.
In a high visibility location in Circleville, obviously everybody's going by 23.
Exactly.
So, but when you started out with game, did you just start out with just games, or did you
Just games is what it all started. We didn't do any collectibles, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But with digital taking over so much, we had to look to diversify.
Yeah.
And it also brought in more people. So it's just kept growing and growing with all kinds of different nerd culture products.
So you said with digital, you mean like being able to download the games straight from the internet instead of coming in and buying a cartridge or discs or whatever?
Yes, it makes it a kind of a struggle because so many younger kids are, just into Fortnite and all that, and they'll play the same game that constantly updates. So, they're just spending $10, $20 microtransactions on that game. They're not going out. They're not buying a new game. They don't want to, wait till the store opens in the morning to go get their game. They're going to order it online, play it at midnight, things like that.
Yeah. As somebody that just bought the $100 special ultra edition, I'm making up the name of it, but of MLB The Show, so we could play it 2 days before everybody else and everything else. I can tell you that culture is alive and well at my house.
Yeah.
To the point where I have to tell my son, like, hey, people that own these stores need help too, or they probably need it more than Microsoft does, right? So
It's nice because, you never know. Microsoft, when you sign their agreement to create your account, they can pull those games whenever they want. They can pull them right off that marketplace, but with a physical copy, they can't take that from you. You can play it whenever you want.
yeah, that's true. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that the Funko market, like I've heard from some people that the Funko market's contracting a little bit. Do you find that to be true for you in your stores, or is it still booming?
I think the heavy collectors with the 30, 40, $100,000 collections, those people are thinning down because they're worried that it's going to blow up or something. But
Yeah.
the gaming market, ever since I've been in it for over 10 years now, people have said that. So I don't see it dying. There's still more and more people getting in and getting out every single day.
And with consoles changing and things like that, there's going to be different versions of games for, you used to just have Xbox, but now you have Xbox One and everything else. Same thing with PlayStation, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, things like that too. So
Yeah.
you sell old games too, right?
Yeah, we go all the way back to the Atari, original Nintendo, all of it.
There's still hope for us, Marty. Atari and Sega Genesis will live on forever.
That's right.
Do you get a lot of interest in those older game sets, and do people come in and buy cartridges and so on?
People collect it. People get nostalgic for it, want to show their kids when they're getting that age, like, what's the first game system do I get them? They're like, okay, I want to get them what I had as a kid.
Yeah.
So they come in and get that. Or I'll see other kids who come in that are younger, 8 to 12 years old a lot. They're just like, hey, I want to see what I didn't get or what I missed out on. And they'll come in, they'll get the original Nintendo, they'll get a Sega Genesis, and they'll try it out, and they'll be young collectors already starting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because, Marty does slot cars, and of course that was something that he connected with when he was real young.
Right.
I've had baseball cards when I was a kid. I started to get back into that again now through my son. It's like we really want the nostalgia piece, but people know it too. So, that stuff that you wanted to get, if I wanted to get all the Star Wars original Funko Pops, that's going to cost me a pretty penny.
For sure. They were some of the first ones they did was the Star Wars. So those original print Star Wars ones can be worth absolute tons now.
Yeah. What's the highest that you've ever seen a Funko, like, that you would, I don't want to ask you what you paid for them because that seems kind of personal, but
The most expensive one we've had through the store is $1,000 at the moment. It was a limited con exclusive Freddy Funko where he's dressed in the Vault Boy suit from Fallout.
Oh yeah. Huh. But
there's some that go up in the $10,000, $20,000 range, but I haven't messed with those yet.
Yeah. That's a level that you're going to have to work up to, right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like over the years, we've seen a lot of things come and go from a collector standpoint. I go back a long time, and Beanie Babies years ago were big, and then like the market just fell out. What do you think that Funko Pop has done to try to eliminate that? Because we had somebody on the show a couple weeks ago who talk about Lego and how Lego has kind of protected themselves from that. I feel like Funko Pop's done a pretty good job of protecting themselves as well. What are you seeing from that?
The thing that killed Beanie Baby is they didn't get into IPs till late. So once you get into the IP, so you have things that are ever evolving, can stay up when you go with the television shows and all that. That's always around. People get entertainment and they want to watch things. So as long as they keep up with that, they'll do fine.
So when you say IP, what do you mean by that?
Intellectual property.
Okay. Yeah, I just
Gotcha.
So I think you're right. Because that's the thing where Lego has basically said, hey, we're going to really protect our space here by doing that. Because, we have some sets that are not Lego. But and I think one we have is like a space shuttle one. And we got it, I think, at NASA. But, it's not the same,
Right.
So it's a really interesting space for sure.
Yeah, Lego did the same. They were dying off in the late 80s, early 90s, and then they added the Star Wars line, and that really blew it up. And then they expanded to more and more Indiana Jones, all kinds of different intellectual property.
Themselves to movies,
video games,
things like that, right?
Yep.
Books like with the Harry Potter.
Yeah, there are people that tell me that some of the Lego video games are some of their favorite games to play.
Yeah.
They're nice because everyone of all ages can hop on and play. Whether you want to play with your wife or your 5-year-old kid, you can sit down and play it and have a good time together.
Yeah, I've regularly frustrated my son playing Lego Batman with him. I think it was like the first one or something.
Yeah.
And he beats me at everything, right? Like we played Mortal Kombat, and I just get destroyed. And I actually can hang with him and even beat him sometimes. And it's like, he gets bad, which I love, but
you get used to winning.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And so you probably started out as a gamer, right? Like you played games a lot.
Yes, that's where it all started. And now I don't have time to do it anymore.
Well, that's what entrepreneurs do, I guess.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is create that staff that you have, so that way you can take more time to do the things that you like,
I think I have it there. I just don't have the like, man, I could be there helping them, or I could go do this and get more done. So
Yeah.
time management or skills I should work on.
So how often do you get around to all your locations? Do you go every week and you're there, several hours?
Daily, pretty much. The only day I try to take off and be like, okay, I'm going to step out and I'm not going to be in any of the stores is usually Wednesday.
Is that right?
Yep. Other than that, I'm at one of the locations helping or making sure everything's going how I want and looking how it should to keep everyone happy.
Yeah. So do you just shut down on Wednesday and just be like, you know what, I'm doing this for me today? Or is it still work from home? Or
work from home, 30 phone calls of like, hey, should we buy this? Or this person has this, and I'll help them through that or teach what needs taught. And then other than that, it's like, I'm not going in though.
Yeah. So do you deal in the secondhand market too?
Yes, heavily. That's what all the businesses rely on, because margins on video games new or almost nothing.
Well, yeah. So secondhand market, like you're in the eBay space and places like that, or are you?
We do sell on eBay. That's the primary online selling platform we use. Eventually, probably going to expand into like maybe Whatnot or something like that, or our own website, but that's a future endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Slot cars just came to Whatnot just a few weeks ago. And some of the channels, we were talking about the YouTube before, some of the other channels that I'm friends with got approached by Whatnot offering to give them some discounts early on to try to establish the channel. So that is probably a potential market for you with what you've got.
Yeah, I'm always far behind on the new websites and platforms that come up because I'm always too skeptical. I'm like, I'm going to invest time and this is going to crash and burn, and Whatnot's one. I'm just like, it's going to crash and burn. And now I see it grow and grow. And I'm like, okay, this is here to stay.
Yeah.
You find that there are online communities that can help you sort through some of those decisions? I mean, I think like, and maybe it's a bad idea, but like Reddit might have. I mean, I'm into Reddit right now because the card and dice game that I play, which is Stratomatic Baseball, there's huge active communities there, and there are people that are replaying baseball seasons from 30 years ago. But there's lots of helpful hints in there and things like that.
I love Reddit for things like that. It's so full of whatever knowledge you need. There's someone on there, and if someone's wrong, you're going to have 30 people on Reddit call them out.
Yeah.
So
that's what I will say is really interesting to me. Like I'd always just kind of dabbled in Reddit with, things about Chillicothe. If there was like a site for Chillicothe or Ohio or things that I gravitate towards, bands that I like, things like that. And so, it always felt like the bands that I liked, there were all these super fans out there and they were all just bombarding things. And I was like, man, I like the Avett Brothers, but I don't know why I like them that much, And so I had to find one that I felt comfortable with, but I think that's probably true of like everywhere on Reddit, right?
Yes. And it's gotten, I think, better now that more people know of Reddit. And I feel like it's a more common thing, where Reddit used to be more of a niche.
Yeah.
Super fan community, and now for a lot of things it's absorbing everyone.
Yeah. So I know that to kind of go back to Funko for a quick minute here. So I know that they have sports offerings, and those are kind of interesting, but they really hit TV and movies probably the hardest, right?
They do. Sports is something they partnered with, I think it was Panini, to do special Funko where the back of the box looks like their sports card, and then it will have the Funko in it. So that's something that's taking off pretty well. I think that was finally their market. They hit like, okay, here's how we can market the sports cards as well as possible.
Yeah. Well, and of course, that whole market is changing too, because Topps, which had been the dominant source there for a long time, lost the deal. Their sets this year are the last ones. Fanatics is taking them over. and there's this whole run on NFTs and all this other crazy stuff and stuff that I really don't understand just yet. But do you feel like NFTs are a thing that you would get into, or are you already into them?
Not really.
Yeah.
They do some NFT Funko Pops, and I'll buy them like secondhand, because what you have to do is you have to buy packs of cards on their website.
Yeah.
Digital packs of cards. And then you can get the chance to win one of the ones you can redeem 6 months later, and then get the Funko Pop that they send 6 months after you redeem it.
Right. Wow.
So it's like
You're waiting a year. Easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually spending more than it's worth. Every one, like if you get one, you're usually spending at least $300-$400 for one Funko Pop.
Yeah. So, you're 25, obviously, and this is what you've chosen to do at this moment in time. Do you feel like this is something you're going to continue to do, or are you looking into other avenues already?
As long as the market's still there, I'd like to keep it going.
Yeah.
I think it has a long life worth left still.
Yeah.
After that, probably rental property and things like that.
Okay. Which are there other interests that you have that you've thought about as well?
The toy store, the Funko store is the main thing. I'm always like, that would be really cool. That would be awesome. And then January, it's just like, let's wing it. Like, let's try it out. Like, I found a really nice spot I want. We're going to try it.
Yeah.
So that was always like the goal of like, that would be really cool, but I don't think it will ever happen.
Are people finding you in that space? Do you have a lot of traffic to the store and they're finding you? And
Between foot traffic and word of mouth and all the advertising, it's taken off. The Facebook page, the Chillicothe store, it's been around for 15 years.
Yeah.
It's had 1,500 Facebook likes as of last month, and we already have pop culture at 1,000, and it's growing at least 10 to 15 a day still. So
Nice.
I look for it to keep growing and growing, and the reach has been really nice.
yeah.
So, a lot of times when they release video games, you'll see that people will, line up when they're gonna come out. Do you see like events like that happening for pop culture as well, like for Funko releases and things?
Eventually, yes. When something real popular comes out, we'll probably have a good little line of people wanting it, or if there's an exclusive or a limited print, it's like, hey, we're going to have it this day.
Yeah.
We'll probably have people line up, because we still do it like the game store for different card releases. So Pokemon releases a new set.
Yeah.
There's been times we've had lines of 30, 40 people outside waiting to come in. So it's still a thing. It's not as often as it used to be with the online age of people being able to order everything, or
Yeah.
with COVID also, we try to do more pre-orders where it's like, hey, we don't have to have 40 people in here
Right.
at a time. But with that ending and not being such an awful thing, it's a little easier to do the 40, 50 people lining up. And
Yeah. When Brent Bowers was on here from the Brent's Bricks channel, he was telling us about how Lego does minifigures and things like that. Is that a thing in Funko too, where they do smaller things that you can only get through certain buys and things like that, or is that not a thing?
every store has its exclusive. Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Target. They'll do like a Target Con exclusive. They'll do San Diego Comic-Con exclusives.
Wow.
Tons of exclusives. The San Diego Comic-Con ones are the ones that typically they're like, oh, they did 300 or 400 of this, and it's
And it's never coming back again, right?
never.
Yeah.
Because they'll vault them after so long too. So it's like, okay, here's where we say this is never getting reprinted again.
Yeah.
And then that's when the secondhand market can really take off, and you'll see them skyrocket in price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my question: is do they retire every Funko Pop, or are there some that they just continue to make all the time because the demand's there?
There's some that continue to make all the time. It kind of varies. And also with the licensing aspect of it, it's like they might lose that licensing earlier than others and be like, okay, that's done because we can get that license back.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, the folks that do the licensing too for whatever, brand they're trying to sell or movie or TV show, they understand the value of it, especially if you, for example, start Stranger Things. It started out as this little Netflix series and then it just took off. I can't imagine that licensing agreement is going to last forever.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sure
so-
Netflix gets greedy and knows how much money they can keep charging them for it. So they're going to charge more and more.
Yeah, well, as someone that shared a bunch of passwords, I can tell you they're definitely greedy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my kids and a couple other people I knew had my password, and now it's a thing. You got to live in the house and that whole deal. So
Correct.
I get it. How do you envision Do you envision pop culture opening other stores in other markets, Lancaster and maybe even Circleville and places like that?
It's possible. Pop culture, kind of the test was of like, how quick can I do this? And what does it take? Because I'm not opposed to eventually doing them in different locations, not even just in Ohio, maybe in different states, be able to just fly out every so often, check on the store and see how hard this store is to maintain, because it's much easier than a game store. Game stores are a nightmare.
Oh, I bet.
But the pop store so far has been pretty good.
So what makes games a nightmare?
Between testing, resurfacing, going through everything, things not working, where Funko Pops, it's like, cool, here's this % for this price that we give and this % for that. Where video games, it's totally different because, I mean, Pops, it can happen too, but it's a lot easier to see. Conditional games can matter so much of whether this vintage game has a manual or this little nick in the label or if it's fake, because they're a lot harder to tell video game fakes than Funko Pop fakes.
I mean, I didn't even consider that.
I didn't even think about counterfeit games or Funko Pops.
Yeah, especially in the secondhand market, I would imagine, right? Like that would be
That's
a big
where they're
deal.
trying to pass them off in the secondhand market.
Both markets, there's video games that go up into the $1 million range now, so there's gonna be fakes. Funko Pops are, I don't think anything's hit quite 6 figures yet, but still, you're in 5 digits. There's gonna be fakes out there, and they're thankfully most of the Chinese companies are not good at them yet.
Yeah,
and hopefully they stay that way. Same with video games. There's some decent fakes out there, but nothing that a trained eye can't spot.
Yeah. This is big. Horizon Fiber Internet is ready
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network.
with the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Horizon is ready to help you do what you do better. With real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free, plus no contracts and no data caps. Call 740-772-8331
Or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe
to sign up today. Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you get that training? I mean, I'm curious, how did you become, was it your just working for Game One early on, is where you learned kind of the craft of judging what something's worth and what to give somebody? Because it sounds like that's when your day off, you take a bunch of calls because you're helping your employees make good decisions about what people are bringing in. How did you develop that skill?
Working in it is a lot of it. YouTube helps you. You can learn about anything on there. So learning how to spot fakes is pretty good, having that help you. And then just being in it, seeing it, you can learn the little things to watch for of like, hey, is this fake? Is this real?
Obviously, with the pop culture store, you've joined the downtown community. Was that a location that you really wanted to be in? Or was it, you mentioned that you wanted to get it up and off the ground pretty fast. Did you just find a good spot and targeted it?
Downtown's what I wanted for sure. I didn't want to be out on Bridge Street or anything like that. I wanted the small local town feel, the smaller space to keep it nice and compact and give it that smaller vibe. I've always kind of thought a downtown store would be really nice.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And the cool thing, I think, for you is that you do have some of that nostalgia already built into downtown. You have Grandpa Joe's with the candy shop. Right. You got Chillicothe Antique Emporium with pinball and the old video games. You kind of fit like in this little niche of, nostalgia. If you want to go to downtown and do a little nostalgia tour, you can pretty much find anything you want. Record shop. I mean,
the figurines, like a history store and the miniature store. Like we actually have 2 stores that offer that those type of collectibles. So you're kind of in a good area that brings people who are interested in those kind of things.
Exactly that. And even, I mean, we also have a shoe store downtown that carries a lot of the vintage Jordans and things like that too. So you can come downtown to see everything historic, the buildings, all the stores, all the different things, the Majestic Theater.
Yeah. Well, and you can create the Chillicothe nostalgia tour and go down and get yourself play some pinball and get some shoes and everything else. That's just it's a neat thing to think about.
Now, do you collect?
I collect mostly video games and Lego. Lego's one of my favorites, but video games something I'll never stop collecting.
Okay. So does anything ever come in the store and you're like, ooh, I want that for my collection?
Too often. All the time.
You got to remember that you're a businessman at that point, right? Like
sometimes you have to say, nope.
Exactly. Yeah. I have to pick and choose and be like, this was going to look really good on the shelf. Now, what shelf was it going to go on? The stores are mine.
And I understand that you just got a house recently too, right? So you probably have more space, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Last year I just bought my first house and I'm just like, okay, now I have all this space. I can display everything how I want, and makes it harder to say no to taking really cool things home.
If I remember correctly, that's what Brent said
Yes,
too,
he
that
said
he had it, and like he had the full Lego Millennium Falcon,
Well, yeah.
right?
Full size,
Which
yeah.
I literally saw like a week after he came in, this TikTok video of this guy taking his Millennium Falcon down the stairs and dropping it.
Oh no.
And I was like, wow.
Did you send that to me? I
think I might have,
You
yeah.
might have. That was awful. But I didn't realize how big that
It's
the
massive.
full size is huge.
So like, what are the prize items? Like, what are the ones that you really cherish in your own personal collection?
A lot of the old Nintendo games, a lot of the late releases, so like Jetsons and things like that. They had a lot of really good platformers. That's some of my favorite video games to collect, is the vintage original Nintendo. And then for Lego, a lot of the vintage like Castle stuff, the Western, a lot of the series that aren't ever going to return.
Yeah, and talk about nostalgia. I have nostalgia for the things that I probably threw away from when I was a kid that were like that. Like I remember having a Western themed set that I put together. I probably played with that thing until I was, almost a teenager, I think, probably, just because it was cool. I liked it. And now it's gone forever.
We get
it's
older,
like-
we get the expendable income. It's just like, I want everything I had as a kid and all the things I wanted and couldn't have.
Yeah.
That became like my rosebud from Citizen Kane. Like I just sit around thinking about it now. It's my cousin had a ton of like vintage baseball cards, like the 50s and 60s stuff. And I remember I used to, when I'd go to his house, I'd go through them, because I was interested in it. And then when we got older, I think he was in his 30s and I was in my teens. I said, man, whatever happened to those? And he's like, my mom threw them away. And I was like,
my gosh.
man. He had stuff that probably was worth big money, especially when I was a teenager and into my 20s was the heyday for sports cards. But they're gone now. So
I hear the horror stories all the time of like, my mom threw this away or threw it in the yard sale for $5. And it's like, oh, cool. That's worth $3,000 now.
and you,
we were talking about my wife selling the Nintendo Wii. She's like, hey, what do you want to do with this? And I'm like, you could probably put it on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. She's like, okay. And 15 minutes later, she's like, I sold it. And I'm like, we didn't even talk about price. How much? I put $50 on it. And I was like, what?
what do those go for?
The Wii's themselves are about $100, but from our conversation earlier, he had guitars, which are like, $50 a piece, a drum set that's $100, and then a stack of games that who knows what that's worth.
So when we moved, I did the same thing. I think we took ours to Goodwill, probably. I don't know.
Oh my
I don't even
gosh.
want to think about it now. And we had a ton of games too.
We did too.
Yeah. Well, of
The
course.
guy who bought it was very, very happy.
Yeah. Well, I bet. Well, and we know somebody that collects all video game systems and has tons of them, and to the point when
He tried to have every possible
Yeah.
game system ever made. That was his goal.
Yeah. And when I got a Wii, they could play what I think it was N64 games, maybe
GameCube.
GameCube games, yeah.
And so I was sitting in a room with him one time, and I was complaining. I was like, "Yeah, everybody tells you can play GameCubes. Well, where can you find them?" And he's like, "What do you want? I got a bunch of them." Literally shows up to my house with like 20 games the next day, plus 2 controllers. I was like, "Do you have all this stuff in your house?" He's like, "Oh yeah, to come over sometime." I mean, he had an entire room filled with these gaming systems and cartridges and stuff
TVs
like that.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Plug them in and play.
It's a huge thing to do now. Tons of people have massive, massive collections, or even multiple rooms or a whole garage of their house just filled with tons of games from every console. Because they've been going on since the 60s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way from playing Pong, right?
That's right.
And even Space Invaders, right? Like, I mean, some of that stuff now. Yeah, I took my son to check out the Antique Emporium to play video games one time, and he was just like, "Did you really play these games?" And I'm like, "Look, you're used to today's technology. This was high tech
This was
for me."
unbelievable as a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
Seeing those games.
I remember Defender, which was like my favorite game. I remember just playing that for hours and just shoveling quarters into that thing. And then when it came out on Atari, I just thought my whole life had changed.
Yeah, you can play it anytime you wanted. Yeah, the NES was big in my house as a kid. We picked it up. My dad bought it for us for Christmas, and we would fight over the controllers. And I was probably in high school, early high school when it came out, and like what a game platform that's kind of stood the test of times. I mean, like you said, people still, you collect it. It's your favorite stuff to collect. I know all kinds of people who still play.
All the different names on there, Mario, Donkey Kong, they still make games to this day. So people are just like, okay, where did this start? I want to try these out. Or they've played it when it first came out and they want to try it again.
Yeah.
So like with something like that, when like right now there's a new Mario movie out, do you find that interest comes back up again?
Yeah, for sure. The Pokemon did their video game movie that sparked interest on that super heavily again. Not that it ever disappeared, but tons of new people coming in, bringing their families like, hey, we just watched this movie. Let's come buy that.
Yeah.
And then Mario's doing the same thing, and it was super well received. It was real skeptical at first, but everyone's loving it. So everyone's out hunting down all the different Mario merch and playing Mario games, picking up a Switch.
Yeah. So for us during COVID, it was Star Wars. I had watched all 3 original movies back in the day. And so when COVID hit, my son and I were sitting around and I said, we should watch a movie together. And he's like, all right. So he was flipping through Amazon because he had it through his Xbox. And he's like, I said, oh, wait, let's watch the original Star Wars movie. And of course, compared to what you see now, the effects and everything were archaic, right?
Right.
But it lit a spark in him. And then next thing I know, he's watched them all. He's binged them in a day. And, because he's the kid that during COVID could get all his work done in like 2 hours in the morning and then have whatever time he wanted,
Yeah.
So, and I think that's probably true for a lot of people, that they picked up something during COVID and now they're going to keep it around.
Yeah, everyone found a hobby. A lot of them are keeping them around, and it's one of those things that's going to stay. It's not going to be to that same fuel because they don't have the time. They've had to go back to work, things like that. But I don't think it will ever die off, and everyone will always remember what happened and all that they had the time to do and everything.
Yeah.
Do you have anything new coming to the stores that you're excited about, or like what, if you like foresee the future, what do you see coming down the pike that could be really important for your stores to carry or, add as merchandise or?
The new Zelda game is going to be a huge one. Zelda's always one of those biggest games out there.
Talk
that
about
one's going to be huge.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Any new game console release, Nintendo's rumored to have one coming in the next couple of years. That's going to be huge. Funko's always introducing something new. Now they're doing bitty pops, which are pops that are like half an inch tall. And that's going to be something new and interesting. We'll see how many people start collecting those, but they're always coming out with something new. They're trying to keep the market going, keep their relevance awake, and they do good at it.
Yeah.
And you can do good at it too, right?
Yes.
As long as they keep doing well, you can do well.
Exactly. Yeah. They're pretty good about supporting all the different stores. Funko's pretty good about it. Helping supply everybody with everything. They usually don't have too many shortages.
Yeah.
They just do their limited prints, and you just have to be, sitting at your computer waiting for them to be like, okay, you can order this now, and then it's gone in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about especially when you do them limited like that, you gotta be real fast.
Exactly. People all across the country watching and waiting,
You need
ready
that
for it.
Horizon high speed internet.
That's
is what you
right.
need. So we talk about our sponsor.
That's right.
Well, hey, look, I'm overjoyed for you. I think
is great.
you've really, as we detailed here, like you've hit on something really nice. And, I'm going to bring my son down there and my bank account will be poorer for it, but he'll be happy.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I figured you would be. So, well, thanks for coming on, man. And good luck to you and, whatever you're trying to do. And if you get to rental properties too, I wish you all the best luck.
Thank you. And I appreciate you having me on.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks, Levi.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
We don't deserve it. It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it all